Okay, I think I am live. Hello, Joe. How's it going? I think you are the first in here, so let's see. I think I'm live, so hopefully everything's working fine. Let's see. I know this one was a little short notice for a live stream. I just kind of decided to do one like an hour before I went live, so we'll see how many people actually join tonight, but I do have a kind of an exciting thing to show off in a little bit. So I'm doing pretty well. I feel like this last couple of weeks have been kind of like busy with work and stuff, but overall, I can't really complain. How are you doing? But yeah, it's the weather's slowly changing in Ohio, which is kind of sad, but also I'm happy because I love fall and Halloween and stuff. So it's like progressively getting like cooler each day. Um, but I'll probably yes, I am very excited to show off this new shelf that I just put in. Um, I actually like literally just put it in today. So, hello Izzy. Um, but I'm very excited because it's definitely like different than all my other shelves. So, it's like a different type of shelf, which I'll get into in a little bit. I'll probably just let a few more people join if anybody is waiting. Um, but in the meantime, does anybody have any questions about anything at all? Movie related, not movie related. Be glad to answer them. Um, but I do also have going over some fun like horror movie stuff later, so I will be talking about that probably after shelf stuff, but we'll see. I don't know how long I'm going to stay on here. Probably at least maybe an hour or so, um, just answering any questions. But yeah, I definitely should have advertised the live stream. Way sooner than an hour before doing it, but. Um, See, Kyle, I'm a massive fan of the Universal classic monster movies. The 1930s were so great. Um, yes, I actually. So I have this little guy. I don't have any of them on 4K, but I love this box set. I've been slowly, I mean, keyword very slowly, working my way through this. Kind of just watching them in the order that they were released in. And I've seen all of like the main ones of all the like the first Dracula, first Frankenstein, and so on and so on. Um, but yeah, fantastic set. If you don't have this, this should be definitely a priority in people's collection. I would love to see if this got a 4K. So like if all of these films got a nice 4K transfer. I know they've been doing like the main ones, but this is one of my favorites that I have in my collection. But what's the best deal you've gotten on a Criterion? Ooh, let me think. I got one. So where is it? Let me snag it real quick. Um, oh man, now that I can't find it. Um, so I got this. This is the Blu-ray. I was so the one place where I get a lot of movies. He used to, or he had like a garage sale basically running year round out of his garage, and I I think he had his pricing was for $3 Blu-rays, and DVDs were like 7 for 10 or something. So I would be buying all kinds of stuff all the time from him, and because he did a lot of like buying and selling type of deal. And he had a Criterion, so I got that Criterion Blu-ray for $3. That might be the best deal that I ever got. Um, Maybe it was even cheaper because it might have been 2 for 5. He might have had on Blu-rays like 2 Blu-ray for 5, so it might have been, 250, which I guess isn't that big of a difference, but still, $3 for a Criterion Blu-ray, which is probably the best deal. I've gotten some Criterion DVDs here and there for like $1 a piece, but nothing like super out of print, I guess. Actually, I take that back. This might have been one of the better deals. I'm sorry. So this was $17. I bought this at a what's it, like a bookstore in Kent, Ohio. And if you know that this is very much so out of print, I think this is like a $60 Blu-ray, but I got it for 17, and so they just put out movies for whatever. So very happy that I got that for that cheap. But I'm sure there's other ones in there. But have you ever watched any 1920s silent horror? The Hunchback from Notre Dame turned 100 years old or turns 100 years old in a few days, or a few days ago. I'm sorry. My favorite is the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. So I've seen the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. I'm sorry. And um, I've seen Nosferatu as well. I believe this is from 1922, so this is over 100 years old, which is wild. And I guess it is technically silent. Yeah, and so this was fantastic. I've seen Dr. Caligari, but I've not seen Hunchback from Notre Dame. But there's another one that I have in my collection. I think this is technically horror. This is 1922 as well. Haxan, I think is how you say it. So this is another great one that I will be revisiting eventually because it's very interesting. But will you be doing 31 days of Halloween? Yes, I'll be doing 31 nights of Halloween this year. I do that. I've done it now for the last. This will be the fifth year, I believe. Where essentially I just line up 31 horror movies within the for the days of all the 31 days of Halloween. So that's actually how I've been watching the Omen films, because I bought the box set and I didn't really want to sit and watch all of the movies all at once. So I've been watching, like, each Halloween, I've been watching like the next one in line. I'm also doing that with Critters, the Critters movies, and actually the Wreck films. This fantastic Scream Factory box set. So I'm on within this series. I'm on Wreck 3 because last October I watched Wreck 2, but. And then, of course, I throw in a Halloween movie and a Friday the 13th and stuff I've seen 100 times. But let's see. Have you seen The New World? I bought the Criterion the other day and it was beautiful. The New World. The New World. That sounds very familiar. Ah, yes. Terence Malick, The New World. Yes, this is a fantastically beautiful film. I love Terence Malick. I think he's a very unique filmmaker. And this was very, very well done. His movies definitely are probably not for everyone. And I don't know. I feel like they're more of, you can just like watch them and just kind of experience them. They're not so much like story driven. They're more of kind of like feeling driven, I guess. I don't know how to describe it. But yeah, I would highly recommend checking out everything by Terence Malick. Another one in the Criterion collection by him is The Tree of Life. That's another fantastic film by him. And I'm trying to think what else is by him that's Days of Heaven, which actually just got announced to have a 4K coming up here soon. It was out of print for a while, but Days of Heaven is probably one of the more beautiful films I've ever seen. I really need to revisit it soon because it was just it's one of those movies that I feel like I could watch a lot. But yeah, there's a few other ones by him that I'm blanking on the names, but I have him in my favorite directors section over on the other wall. But yeah, Haxan is definitely cool. It's from 1922. I believe it's originally from Sweden. Yeah, Swedish. So I think it's from Sweden. I forget what it translates to. Um, yeah, but yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. It's fantastic. Yes, Thin Red Line. Yes, yes, yes. That's another one that I forgot about. That is also a fantastic film. He's a very interesting director because like he doesn't like do any press, as far as I know, he doesn't do like any press conferences for his films or like talk about them or even really show up in public for his films. Like finding a photo of him, there's like one photo of him on Google, like but he's very like private when it comes um like being in front of the camera and like talking about his movies because he feels like his movies should speak for themselves. So he's a very interesting director, and I feel like I heard a story once where he basically was making like Hollywood like movies, and he basically walked away from that because he felt like it wasn't he didn't want to be a part of it, so he kind of just took a step back and just out of nowhere released another movie. So definitely worth checking out Terence Malick's work. I think it's a very interesting library. But your library is so impressive. Thank you. I appreciate that. I've been collecting since 2011 ish, somewhere around that year. Um, but yeah, I love collecting physical media. It's I love it. But I have the Hellraiser Trilogy puzzle box DVD set. The discs are supposed to be in 5 slots that all fold out. I noticed your one, the discs are in. Yes, so mine is a region B. I know which one you're talking about, where it like they like kind of fold out, kind of. I'm trying to think of an example of a set that's similar. But yeah, it like folds out, and mine. I'm assuming you're referring to my I guess horror movie box set video that I did. So it's region B, and so it was probably sold in England, I'm assuming. Um, but they're like in these weird plastic sleeves. And actually I'll just so yeah, it was released by Anchor Bay. So it is like an official release. It's not like a bootleg or anything. But yeah, region B, and then Hellraiser 1, 2, 3. See, it says limited 6 disc set, but on the back here it just says Hellraiser 1, 2, and 3, and then bonus disc. So I don't know if the other ones are supposed to be in there or not, but um, yeah, I'll show this to anyone who didn't see that video. But essentially, yeah, each disc is like in this weird plastic, like almost like a plastic bag sleeve, um, and you can kind of see like there's like slots supposed to have the discs, but they don't sit there at all. So I just kind of lay them down. Very weird. One of the weirdest box sets I think I have, and I got this in a this guy had on Facebook Marketplace had a bunch of movies, and included in it was like the Friday the 13th, like the tin set right there. I already had it, but I bought it basically to sell the tin set, pay for the whole lot, and get some free movies. And so this was in it, and so I was very excited to add this to my collection because I love this. It's weird, and yeah, I think it's just so cool. Um, yeah, his let's see, Joe. I'm assuming you're talking about the or Terrence Malick saying, yeah, his films are very much his, if that makes sense. We just get to watch them. Yeah, I would definitely agree. you can tell he's very like they're very personal to him, which I really like. And I would love just to see what he makes in the future. But um, did you always think the collection would get or be so big, or was there a moment when you decided it would become a big hobby? Um, I feel like so I'm gonna do like a whole video talking about like my whole collection journey on like where I started from, and like maybe I'll try to find some photos of my early collection. Um, but it just kind of like it kept growing, and I mean, if you are into collecting, you kind of know that like once you start getting into it, it's like you kind of start branching away from like the $5 Walmart bin, and you start realizing like, oh, there's these, there's Criterion, or there's Vinegar Syndrome, or Severin, or Arrow. There's Kino. There's Blue Underground, and there's like Scream Factory. Like there's all these different like branches of physical media, and then you start diving into their catalogs, and like then you start realizing that like there's all these different types of movies, there's these different formats. I started really watching YouTube channel Cinema Sickness, if you're familiar with him at all, and I loved how his whole basement was like a movie room, and I loved it, and I really got into like the different formats. And it's just how there's so many different types of formats. There's laserdisc, CED, DVD, Blu-ray, 4K, HD DVD. I'm trying to think what else. Like film, there's like just all kinds of stuff. And I tried to collect at least one item of each different type of format, which I kind of go over in my room tour video. But yeah, it's definitely a rabbit hole, and I don't think I ever expected to ever have a collection this big. Um, and it just keeps growing, and like I feel like I haven't even scratched the surface with some of these like labels. Like I mean, Criterion is definitely I like have um poured most of my energy into Criterion. But I've like barely scratched the surface of like Vinegar Syndrome or Severin or even Arrow. um and it's crazy. But I also I'll get into this more of why I collect physical media. Um, but I want to eventually make movies. That's kind of like my ultimate dream, and my passion and goal. And so I kind of just like started to like watch a lot of movies to like kind of see how movies were made, and so it kind of like it turned into this, buying movies to watch to, you know kind of revisit and like have like as a reference. And then it just kept going and turned into a um pretty much one of the, a huge hobby of mine. But how do you determine what movies to get rid of? That is still a fantastic question that I am still trying to figure out. I think it's like usually what happens if I like buy up like a lot off Facebook. Obviously, um, if there are copies of like just say Die Hard, which I already have, if it's the exact same copy of it, like I'll look at the both discs, like my copy and the version that I just got, determine which one is, in better condition, keep that one, and then sell off the other one that I no longer need. Um, and usually I try to update. So like if I come across a movie that I like on Blu-ray, like Clerks 2 was a perfect example. I got a copy of Clerks 2 on Blu-ray, so I got rid of the DVD. um, but I do try to go through my whole collection every couple of years. I did this, I think it was last year, and basically pull out any movie that I feel like is not adding value to my collection, or stuff that I'm genuinely just not going to watch. Um, and it's just even stuff that I didn't actually like seek out. It was just kind of stuff that I got up in a lot or bought in a lot, and it was just kind of like, I have it, might as well keep it. But and then I try to, pull all of those out, set them aside, either watch the trailer or kind of like just look it up and if it's like a below like I don't know 5 stars on IMDb, I tend just to be like it's not going to be worth my time to watch it because I have so many other like quality things, and so I keep telling myself, quality over quantity, um, and it is so hard because there is so much like I don't know. There's so much quantity within the quality, if that makes sense, or maybe that's backwards. Either way, I just feel like there's so many like good things out there to get. So um, let's see. It is a really great show. Peace. Thank you. Yeah. And yes, the rabbit hole is definitely deep when it comes to collecting because um, I definitely think it's like, when the average person, when I tell like, just an average person that I collect movies, like, no, their thought of it is just like, oh, he probably has like some Marvel movies and, some Disney stuff and some Star Wars movies. And but I'm like, oh no, it's movies that from I have black and white Japanese films that you've never heard of, like or um, some like French film that was it's part of the Criterion collection that not the average person even knows what it is. So yeah, it's definitely just a rabbit hole that it just continues. But do you have your VHS player set up? I do. Yes, I have. Which I guess I can show it in this video. I have a tube TV in the corner of my room. And so I know that VHS tends to play better or look better on a tube TV because that's what it was originally designed for. And so I have a tube TV set up with a VHS player, but then I also have a VHS player hooked up to my 4K TV. It doesn't look as good, but I have it set up. It has like an HDMI out to it, so I'm able to watch VHS on a 4K TV. But um, yeah, 8 millimeter film I used to collect. I have a trailer for Frankenstein meets the werewolf or Werewolf Man. That's cool. Yeah, I love film, which actually ties perfectly into um, what I want to show in this video. So I will get to that in a second. But yeah, I have one of the cooler pieces in my collection. I have it's like 12 minutes of Star Wars on 8 millimeter film. Um, it's silent and it's kind of like grainy, but it's like clearly Star Wars, and it's like random clip. It's not even like the full movie or just like a couple random scenes from it. But a few years ago, me and my friend, I brought up the 8 millimeter projector out into my driveway and hooked it up against the garage door, and we watched the 12 minutes of Star Wars on film, which was just really cool because I just feel like it just feels I don't know, feels different. um Another cool 8 millimeter film that I have is I have The Great Dictator, like the full movie of The Great Dictator with Charlie Chaplin, and I have The Circus as well with Charlie Chaplin and a few other ones that I have in there. But um I was very fortunate to come across at a thrift shop. Somebody got rid of their whole 8 millimeter collection, and I think they were only asking like $4 or $5 a reel, or a set, I should say. So I bought up all of them because I was like, I need these in my collection. And um, yeah, but do you have any discs going bad? I do not. So I've heard like people talk about that, and I don't have not had that issue. Knock on wood. But I don't really have any that I see that are going bad. The closest thing that I would say that or to that would be um is it this one? I know they have like that gold tint to them, correct? That's like kind of the way that you tell they're going bad. I don't know if it was this one or this one. Because I know there was two Criterion titles I bought um, that was the issue, and so they went out of print. But this one looks fine. I don't think. So those two were these two that I bought. These are the original releases. Not I know both of these have been put back into print, but um, I feel like at one point these looked kind of gold, but like they look fine now. So I don't know if I'm thinking of another disc or not, but um, yeah. Let's see. What do people around you think of or the collection? A lot of people I speak to always say it's pointless to collect. Yeah, I get that. Sometimes I would say like most of the time, anyone that I bring down here is very like just shocked. I guess is the best word I can describe it. Um, and I love looking around. I think it's like so fun to show people. But um, I've talked to a couple people about it, and the one person I remember talking to, they were like, because I was going over like what the Criterion collection is, and my how I love it and stuff, and I just really appreciate it. And they're like, well, this is all going to be on streaming someday, and you know, this all takes up so much room, and I'm like, well, I disagree with the streaming thing, because sorry, I need a drink. I'm like really thirsty. I think like yes, a lot of things are on streaming. Um, However, I don't think like not everything is on streaming. And I also don't think I kind of agree with I know Films at Home, the YouTube channel, has said this before where it's not necessarily streaming versus physical media. I think it's like having both is a good thing. If you can only afford one, I would say like it's a hard one because it's like I don't know, because for a couple like, for $12 a month you can have Netflix for a whole month, and that's pretty much endless films for off of Netflix. The only downside to it is if you want to watch something specific, it's not going to like might not be there. They also might just take it off randomly. So I don't necessarily think one should replace the other. I obviously prefer physical media. Um, I also think like Criterion Channel, for instance. There's a lot of things on the Criterion Channel that are not available on disc, and there's a lot of things on disc that are not available on Criterion Channel. Um, so it's kind of like I don't know. I have a few streaming services, but I don't know. I definitely, if I am going to be watching a movie, it is going to be coming down here, finding something, and watching it. Um, but I don't know. I definitely think it's not pointless to collect. I think it all comes down to why you're collecting. If you genuinely love movies and you love just like physical media and like just love this as a hobby, um, I would definitely say just embrace it and just enjoy it, enjoy the journey, because it really is a journey of, discovering new things. And there's a lot on physical media that will never be on streaming. Um, and there's like going to be a few things on streaming that probably won't make it over to physical media. But in kind of recent news, like the movie Prey that was released on Hulu, they announced that that's going to be getting a 4K. So we'll see if things will change, but I don't know. I definitely don't think it is completely pointless uh, to collect, because especially if you love it. But sorry, that was a long answer, but I don't have any Chaplin. So many films, not enough time. Yes, I that is a very real statement. There are so many movies, um, and yeah, I really try to watch at least one movie a day, um, which sometimes is a lot even. And I feel like there's like I'm trying to get through the movies that are like movies that I should have seen by now. At least in my opinion, I think I should have seen by now. Movies such as like Gone with the Wind, that was one that I recently watched for the first time, and I absolutely loved it. It was fantastic. Um, but there's other ones that I have not seen yet, that I am blanking on the name, or a name of some of them, like the African Queen I've not seen, Conan the Barbarian I've not seen, Cinderella Man, Das Boot, um, I don't know, To Live and Die in L.A. Those are all films that like I haven't seen yet, but I know that they are like important films. Like How the West Was Won is another example, or All That Jazz. I don't know. There's a handful of movies that I have not seen, and some people will be like, "How have you not seen those movies?" But um, then I'll be like, "Well, have you seen Wild Strawberries?" Like, so it's kind of like a give or take, I guess. Yeah, Discra is always there's a problem in physical media. I yeah, I'm very fortunate that I haven't experienced that yet. I am sure at least one disc in this whole collection has that issue. Um but I just don't know of it now. But nice one. I tried to get as many Hanna-Barbera cartoons on 8 millimeter. I'm focusing on Tom and Jerry right now, or at the moment. Um, yeah, I have a couple cartoons on film, but I would my one of my dreams is to have a complete 35 millimeter print of a film. I don't really. I've seen, which I'm kind of kicking myself now. There was one movie, actually like down the road from me at a like antique shop that I think he was asking. It's like $150 or something like that, for a complete 35 millimeter print of a film. And I kind of wish I jumped on it, because it's no longer. He posted on Facebook or on Facebook Marketplace, and I don't have a way of playing that. Currently, as I'm making this video, there is a 35 millimeter film projector on Facebook for, I think it was like $1,600. Um, but that's like, it's a lot of money to invest in a like a 35 millimeter um, like film projector, which I would love to have. That is one of my goals in life, is to have a 35 millimeter film projector, and it worked too, which is like crazy. The only downside with like buying something like that, um, it's like the distance from the projector to the screen has to be, because it's designed for a theater, so you really have to have a large space to put the projector and the screen. um and I thought of just, converting my backyard into a like a makeshift movie theater and just making a giant screen. But I don't know. Someday in the future, I would like to build like a theater, like an actual like decent sized room for watching movies. I think that'd be so cool. Um, got a Christmas Carol animated 1971 and Elizabeth the Queen TV special from 19, both on VHS, and I've seen these on any. Wait, and I've never seen these on another phone. Yeah, that's another thing. Technically speaking, well, that's really cool too. But like technically speaking, VHS is not outdated, because like not everything that was put out on VHS ever made it to DVD. I have a couple. I'm trying to think of examples now. I'm trying to think if I have anything in the horror genre that is right here. Um, I have a few movies that were released on only on VHS and that were never saw the light of day past that. So technically speaking, VHS is not obsolete because they made so many VHS tapes. Um, yeah, so um, see, that's so cheap. Whoa, the 35 millimeter movie. I mean, um, yeah, those projectors are so noisy too. Yeah, I kind of wish I jumped on the 35 millimeter. I see them, I'm watch them on eBay all the time. I don't remember what movie it was. I don't think it was anything like popular. I think it was just some random 35 millimeter print, but I think it was like 5 reels or 4 reels or something. But um, yeah, I have the closest thing I have to it. I have two things. I have like the carrying case. I have one of those that's up in my office, and then I have a bunch of 35 millimeter film trailers, which I'll show here in a second. So, um, yeah, I love film. I think it's such a cool like thing. I have an 8 millimeter slash super 8 millimeter projector, and I have a 16 millimeter projector. So I'm fortunate to have both of those. I'm very lucky to have a working version of both of those. But um, someday I'll hopefully have a 35 millimeter. But by the way, you don't live in hurricane country. Yeah, so I live in Ohio. That is where I'm currently located in. So thankfully, we don't really have any hurricane stuff happening around us, which is very nice. And I hope that people are okay in where that stuff's happening. But Why do you love film and what do you love about it? Um, like film or like like movies? Because I don't know. I probably have a different answer for both of those. Um, Film, I love like the actual like film itself, because I feel like there's something to be said about like watching an actual like reel of film, and there's like each individual like film cell. There's just something to be said about like knowing that when you're watching it, it's just like it's running. It's like the whole thing's moving. Okay, yeah, film. I was very fortunate. I meant to talk about this already. Oh yeah, so I meant to talk about this already in another or in an earlier video, but I saw Oppenheimer on a 70 millimeter print. It wasn't in IMAX, but I did see it in. I was very lucky to get the opportunity to see it on 70 millimeter, and it was just seeing it in theaters with like the like slight flicker to the screen. There's just something so special about that I just feel like is I don't know. It's different than like popping in a DVD, but watching an actual like film and just knowing that it's like running through a projector and um, I don't know. I watched a very good video recently on talking about like 70 millimeter and kind of like the history of 70 millimeter film, and I just kind of like I don't know. There's like something I don't know if nostalgia is the right word, but um, I don't know. It just feels more like unique and special, I guess. Especially with everything being digital, like we're staring at screens all the time, and it's just all pixels, just like like we're looking at. Um, but when you're looking at film, it like feels way more like I don't know, tangible. I guess I don't know what the right word is. It's hard to describe because I really just I love film. But not movie related. But do you collect anything else like games, etc.? Um, Trying to think. I collect like old cameras. Kind of. I have a small collection of just like random. Um, I don't know. Just random like old camera stuff that I have. And I do have a very small video game collection. Not very like. Not very big, but I'll be actually showing that in a second. I'm trying to think if I collect anything else. Um, I used to way back in the day when I was way younger. I collected Legos, so I still have a decent amount of those from my childhood. Um, but yeah, I'm trying to think if I collect anything else that like um, yeah, that's probably about it. I mean, movies are definitely like the biggest thing that I collect. I try not to branch out too far because I know some people like collect like pop figures and movies or um, like figure like a little like I guess I also have like a few little NECA like figures that I have. Um, but I try to stick with like one thing. Um, I also have a very small vinyl collection. Like not even worth mentioning really. It's only a handful, but um, yeah. Let's see. Is that your library? Yes. Yes. So um, behind me is just like kind of where I film a lot of my videos. This wall right here is my boutique label. So this has Criterion, Arrow, Scream Factory, Severin, Vinegar Syndrome, Blue Underground, Kino Lorber, and Warner Archive and Olive Films. Um, so that is all like boutique stuff. So that's all like um, I don't know, the I guess like the higher end stuff. But and then I have on this wall it's all like horror VHS. This section behind me is horror as well. So it's Blu-ray, 4K, and DVD. Um, and then I also have like on the other side of the camera is my DVD wall, and then on the other side of the library I have a another whole TV setup and TV shows and directors and laser discs and CEDs and film and all kinds of stuff. So I do have a full room tour video, which I actually will be probably updating in the next few months. But yes, this is my library, and I also built it myself. So this was not when I got the house. I built all of the I built all the walls and everything. But let's see. Can I have mods if I sub? Mods. I don't really understand. Can I have mods if I sub? Does mods stand for something? MODS? I'm not really sure what you mean by that, but is your 4K TV an OLED one? Actually, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. I should know that, but I don't think it is. Let's see. Are the figures in jars? Like the NECA figures? No, they're not. They're just on my stand. What is it about horror that you love so much? So um, um, so I just love horror because it's like I feel like um, it is interesting because it's like when you talk to like movie people, I feel like all horror people are movie people, but not all movie people are horror people, if that makes sense. Um, so people that might like the Avenger movies, they might not like Friday the 13th, but I feel like if you love like deep dive into horror movies, I feel like you would also like you could appreciate other films as well. Um, that's just kind of how I view it. But I also think with like horror, I just feel like there's so much like creativity that when it comes to that genre, um, I feel like a lot of them are just having fun when they're like making movies. Um, I feel like like yes, like Rambo movies, those are like fun, but like it's not in the same sense as like um, I don't know, like Friday the 13th Part 8. Like they know exactly what they're doing. They're just having fun with it, and it's just like a fun experience to watch. So that's kind of why I love horror movies. But um, have you ever seen a release in a foreign country you wish you could get? I'm from the UK and constantly jealous of the US releases. Yes, so actually there is actually one that I just bought from the UK, actually from Eureka Films, um, which it's the Zulawski box set. I believe it just released not too long ago, and I don't have a Region B player. I really want one, and I need to do some more research on what is a good one to get. But so I can't currently watch those, but I knew I really wanted. I know that's a limited edition set. And I really wanted to get it. Um, so I actually got that for my birthday. But I there's a few that have come out that are like released, you know, um, like overseas that I can't get currently. Actually, a lot of Andre. I think it's Andre. I think it's Andre. I'm not sure. Andre Zulawski. He's the director of Possession and um, On the Silver Globe and a couple other movies. But a lot of his films are, I think he was definitely not. I think he's Polish. Yeah, he's from Poland. Um, a lot of his films are Region B or just really hard to find. So there's definitely things that I wish that I could you know get. Um, Hi. Um, do you play any horror games? I do actually. I have a few. I'm trying to think of what they are. I like the Alien Isolation. That was a fun one. Um, and Dead Space, I guess, kind of counts. And I like the Resident Evil games. I would love to play through the whole Resident Evil series someday, but it's hard with video games because I feel like if I have some extra time, I'm going to be watching a movie, and I could potentially within 2 hours watch like the full movie. But with a video game, I just get like a little bit closer in the video game within 2 hours. So I feel like it's hard not to feel like I'm wasting time with video games. But I don't know. I love just watching movies. So How did you get so handsome? Oh boy. I strongly recommend putting your figures in jars. Is it to keep them from getting like dusty, I guess? I don't know. I'm confused. Um, that Ryuko box set is beautiful. Too expensive for me though. Haha. Yeah, I am. This is my first ever time in like buying a Eureka release. And so I do kind of want to dive into more of what they have to offer. And so yeah, I mean, you said you're from England, like it's actually kind of sick. I really want to visit England sometime. So if you want to buy a plane ticket from Ohio to England, just hit me up and I will gladly take that plane ticket. Um, for me, I love the fact that horror is always adapting to how we live. Yes, that's another thing. I love that horror is like, it's like there's so many like subgenres within horror that I feel like, you know, because you have like supernatural, you have slasher, you have um you know, like sci-fi horror, you have I don't know, there's so many like little subgenres within it. Um and I don't know. I like another I should say another reason why I love horror so much. When I was really little, I asked my dad what is the scariest movie he's ever seen. And he said Alien. Which isn't really a scary movie. I mean, I consider it to be horror, but to him, he didn't like horror. He doesn't like horror movies at all. But to him, that was the scariest movie he ever saw in theaters. And so there was always like this like quest as a little kid to like see Alien, um, and yeah. So I um I feel like it was like always like this quest to see it. And so when I finally did see it, it was just like a huge accomplishment for like little Kyle to like see the movie. Um, but yeah, I can't afford a Eureka box set. I definitely can. Yeah, I get that. I'm trying to figure out like a like there's a few places I want to go on vacation and plane tickets are just stupid right now. It's so annoying. Um, but yeah, so I've been talking for like 48 minutes. So I'm gonna get to actually showing the new shelf thing that I've been wanting to show, that the whole live I guess was about. But sorry. Okay, so I'm going to take this off. Um, yes. Okay, so I'm gonna flip the camera. Okay, so this is kind of the view that I always have when when I'm looking at the camera to do videos. So over here is just all my boutique stuff. Over here is all my horror VHS. And so around the corner, it's a little messy right now, but this is the new shelf. This is one that I just put in today, that I am very excited about because, as I kind of like hinted at earlier, this is my film collection shelf. So yeah, I kind of show some stuff up close, but this is all 8mm film right here, or Super 8, sorry. And then this is all like home video or home movies. I bought a lot of these at different antique shops or like thrift shops that like people just gave away, I guess. I just think it's kind of cool to hold on to these. I think that's just kind of like it's a weird like little window into the past. Like Christmas 1957, which is insane. Or here's Shelley's first birthday on Christmas of 71. This one has like one of the Apollo 8 or like an Apollo 11, like one of them taking off, like they went to Florida for the vacation and yeah, they saw like one of the space shuttles launching from Florida, which is really really cool. And then down here is my actual like these are actually movies. So like this is The Great Dictator right here, and this is The Circus. And I'll just kind of show off some of these things. But yeah, and then I just more. I think these are actually empty, but yeah. And I'm trying to think what else is in here. So a lot of the 16 millimeter, which this is 16 millimeter, and these two are 16 millimeter as well as that. These two, this one, and those. So it's I'm not completely sold on how this is organized right now. I might have to redo it. But I yeah. A lot of the 16 millimeter is educational films from like the 50s, I want to say, where it was just kind of like I'm trying to find an example. Like here's Trouble on My Paper Route, or let's see. Yeah, it's just like a lot of just like random like things that they would have shown in like schools. It's like not necessarily like movies, but I do think it's just kind of cool to have those as well. I bought all of them, or I should say most of them. I got all in one big lot with the 16 millimeter projector. So it was just kind of fun to have all of them. And then this is like a football, which is like one of my favorite things I have. This is like just like football footage from back in the day. It's like black and white. And then these are all 16 millimeter as well. I definitely should have built this shelf to have at least one more shelf on it, like at the bottom. But I was kind of following the same pattern as this right here, which is built into the wall. This is all my 35 millimeter film trailers. And so it kind of follows the same, roughly the same shelf like height. But yeah, so it was definitely like I had all of this film kind of tucked away. And being in the basement, one concern of mine always is like just like humidity. And so I do have a dehumidifier that runs constantly down here. It's actually what this black hose on the ground you may have saw is for. But yeah, I'm very happy with this. I wanted to get them off the ground up onto something in a more central location where like there's airflow all around it. Because originally I had them over here on those two shelves and on this bottom shelf. I moved some things around since then. And this is the outside wall. So on the other side of that wall is just dirt. And so I was very I didn't want to necessarily keep them there. It is fairly like dry down here all the time. Like, so I've never had any, knock on wood again, I've never had any kind of like flooding issues or anything. So I know it probably would have been fine. However, down in that corner, I used to keep my 35 millimeter film trailers, and like 4 or 5 of them got like really like not moldy, but like they deteriorated a lot back in the corner, and because there was just like no airflow at all. And so those ones, unfortunately, was not able to recover, and they're pretty much just destroyed. Thankfully, though, within my 35 millimeter collection, I did have duplicates, so I was able to at least have one copy of the ones that were destroyed. So I didn't want the same thing happening to all of these, so I kind of made this shelf here. But let's see. So cool to have history on a shelf. Yeah, I love this. I would love to be able to watch those. Such a small piece of history that you can or can't find anywhere else, really. Museum where they kept their films. Yeah, I've done a lot of like, I shouldn't say a lot. I've done some research on like what I'm actually going to flip this back around. I've done a little bit of research on like what films or what like temperatures and stuff and humidity levels you're supposed to keep film at. And yeah, so I know you're supposed to keep it at a like certain humidity level. And it does actually, I mean, that's where the term like vinegar syndrome comes from, is that sometimes if a film is starting to decay, like you can, if you open it up and like smell it, it smells like vinegar. So that is something I did not want to happen to any of these, even though they're not like movies necessarily. They're just kind of like educational films from like the 50s, which are still, excuse me, which are still very cool. But is there one thing that you create over time in your library? Yeah, which I know technically speaking, even if I do keep these in like a vault, basically, um, like film technically will decay, no matter really what you do. Um, and so that is an inevitable thing to happen, unfortunately, is to lose film. So I'm going to try to prevent it for as long as I possibly can. um, I know, like, for the United States, there is a film preservation like thing kind of within the Library of Congress, and I think they have like a vault, basically. They converted like an underground bunker into like a film vault where like the original like camera negative of Gone with the Wind is, and stuff like that, where it's just stuff that like is very important to American history. They have it kind of tucked away in a safe place. But oh yeah, and James Dean. James, pointing out you saw James Dean over there, my cardboard cutout of James Dean. How about VHS tapes? Yes. That's another thing that people say it deteriorates, and I've had a few tapes have like mold on them. They get that like little white spot on them, but um, yeah. So VHS is another thing that kind of will deteriorate over time. But I try to also keep those relatively, you know, out off of the floor, and which I know these are bad examples, but unfortunately this is on the floor, and over there's more on the floor, which I'm gonna move some stuff around and hopefully get those off the floor. But yeah, I try to, any VHS tapes that I truly do care about are the horror ones, which are on the other side of this wall. And speaking of which, over here is my my video game collection. So for anyone who was interested in it, this is all the video games I have, which maybe one day I'll do a more deep dive into it. But as of horror games, I also have The Evil Within, I guess, as well, and Fear, and a few other ones in there that I maybe I'll get into someday. But I'm trying to think. What else was there. But yeah, so that was my newest addition to the collection. I also I guess I'll add this too in this video. I kind of redid my different players on here. I need to touch up the paint on these shelves because I definitely painted the wrong edge. I painted like this edge, or like this side edge, and not this edge. So I just need to go through and touch those up. So ignore that. But I added a CD player down here so I can play CDs if I want. I guess the DVD player would do the same thing, but that has a 5-disc CD player in it. So yeah, and one day I'll do a whole video talking about my whole setup and everything. But yeah, I changed this around just a little bit to just better suit it. But as you can see, I'm running out of wall space down here. And so the I figured I might as well build off of this corner here to maximize my space, because I can't put really that much because it's not that big of a corner. As you can see, I had, this issue over here, and I had a shelf over here, so I really just try to maximize as much possible room. But will you upload this stream as a video after it ends? I have to leave, but I enjoy watching these when I am supposed to be working on stuff. Yes, yeah, it'll be uploaded as a video at some point after this ends. So I appreciate you for stopping by, and I hope you enjoy yourself. So yeah. Also, I should add, there are some 35mm little like commercially like stuff up here. Like this is for Sony PlayStation. So this would be spliced into a like movie ahead of time, like in a for a like to advertise different things. Like there's one for like the Army and one for Discovery Channel, and so hi, I'm new. Hello, welcome to the live stream, and welcome to the channel. Glad you're here. And also, this is my 16 millimeter film projector. I guess while I'm on the topic of film, so this is a one of my like favorite Facebook Marketplace finds. I got the projector, the little cart, all the films. He even had some extra bulbs for the projector, so I have like 3 extra bulbs, which I've thankfully never had to replace or anything. Because this, which is also hopefully that'll be you know, good. And there was I guess like extra. I think he had. I'm trying to think like. Yeah, he the guy before me that had this took really good care of it, and so yeah, I'm very happy to have that. And then underneath it is the 8 millimeter projector. So yes, so that is the film shelf that I just added to my collection. What is your channel about? So mainly my channel is all about physical media, movies, and stuff like that. So I absolutely love movies. I love talking about movies. I love collecting movies. As you can see behind me, I just have an insane amount of physical media discs, and yeah, I love it. I just love I don't know, everything about it. So nice and old school. Yeah, I definitely like. I really wish it was just like standard to like project films. I don't mind digital, but I also as I was saying earlier, I love like the little flicker of like film in like a theater on like a screen. It's just like that has like that little like flicker to it, and it just feels different. But um hi Kyle, love seeing all of your stuff in your collection. Thanks. I like I definitely think it's like I don't know. I love talking like showing it to people. And I don't know. I think it would be pointless having all this if I never showed it to people. So I'm glad to share it with people. But what is your audio system like? Like my surround sound system, I have it's like a 7.1 surround sound setup. Um, which in the future I'll probably be doing a video talking about all of the different like model numbers and all of the different things with that. Um, the only thing with my whole audio setup is I'm not currently doing it properly, and I know I'm not doing it like properly. I uh I'm running the whole system basically as like an audio input. Um so like I have essentially like an aux cord plugged into the TV that plugs into the surround sound. And I know that's not the correct way to do it, but I really need to fix it and just like take some time to like basically take everything down and like redo it all. Um and I also have it kind of set up that I also have like a projector in here, um, where I can watch. It has like a pull down screen, and so I can watch or play, like basically play. I have an Xbox, like original Xbox, a 360, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, a Wii, and let's see, CED player, lasers player, beta player, VHS, obviously 4K DVD, a CDI player, and HD DVD player. And I have it all set up that with a few flips of a switch that you can basically play anything through the TV or through the projector. And so it was just like a lot of stuff to figure out. So I really need to like basically redo all of it. So someday in the future I'll be talking about all my different model number, like different model numbers for each thing. But um is there any way I can get or can do something so I can see you on my phone more often? Um, not sure what you mean. I mean, you can subscribe to my channel. That's probably or you can follow my Instagram. Um, I'm guessing that's what you're asking. Yeah. both are Kyle's movie collection. But I'm on Instagram and on YouTube. So um, I agree. HD is just a different format altogether. Yeah, I um, I I don't know. I remember I talked with somebody about like different like formats. Um, where they basically said, well, oh, 8K is coming out, and so all of this is going to be obsolete soon, and so, when 8K comes out, that's just going to be like the new thing, and um, I, I don't know. I definitely think it's like you should never just keep chasing, essentially like the end of the rainbow with like what the newest format is, because currently there's 4K, and I have a lot of stuff that is um I there's a lot of things that I only have on Blu-ray or DVD that I could upgrade to 4K. Um, it's kind of like always like a constant battle of, do I upgrade this or do I buy something that I do not have at all in my collection? Um, and so there's definitely a balance of it all, because I try not to just buy DVDs for the sake because they're the cheapest thing. If there's a new movie coming out, and like that I really want, like what's an example? Like Top Gun Maverick. I don't have Top Gun Maverick yet. I saw it in theaters. It was fantastic. But I'm not going to settle to get the Blu-ray because I want the 4K. And so, if that makes sense. But yeah, I remember just talking with this guy about different formats, and he was like saying like, oh, all Criterion, it's going to be obsolete because 4K is going to be coming out, or 8K is going to be coming out, and um, I don't know. I think if you're always thinking of like the next format or what's like the best possible format, you're never going to have a collection, and you're never going to be like, you're going to be more concerned with being like up to date than just enjoying films. And I definitely think it is more valuable just to enjoy films than like being like the most up to date on things. But um, let's see. Yes, thank you. I just subbed. Thank you. I appreciate that. It means a lot. So I'm going to also get into um, just like a little other small topic that somebody suggested in one of my comments. But let's see, how often do you go live? I don't know. I am not consistent at all with going live. Um, I want to go live more. I do actually enjoy talking just like this with you guys. I think it's a lot of fun. Um, I think I've only gone live 3 times before, so I think this is my 4th time going live. My channel is fairly new. I think it's less than a year old. Um, at least this particular channel. I've tried making videos in the past. It just never really stuck with anything. But um, I don't know. I would like to go live more often. So um, yeah, let's see. I guess that would be a good question for you guys. Like, how often is like would you guys want me to go live? I guess is a great question to ask people. Um, and yeah, so the latest 4K scanners of classic films are fantastic, but they don't look like film anymore. Yes, I also agree with that. I think like watching. I'm trying to think of an example. Um, like watching 2001: A Space Odyssey on 4K. It looks fantastic. It is a beautiful looking movie. Um, but I totally understand, like, it doesn't feel like film. It doesn't like, it looks like it was made yesterday, which yes, it looks great, but like at the same time I'm like, it kind of loses that little, I don't know, that little like part of history where it was made. Um and yeah, I don't know. It is a struggle of balance of um enjoying something that's old on like an older format, or um just getting the newest edition. But do you have a posting schedule? I do not yet. And I know I keep saying in all my videos that hopefully with more free time I'll be able to post more, and I do want to. Is a thing. I really want to. um so hmm. I don't have a posting schedule yet, but I will be working on that um, to try get a like more consistent of like. I mean, as I'm also seeing here, once a week maybe for lives. Um, I I I can do a live at least once a week. I can make that a uh, um, yeah. So I'll try do I can do a like a live like I guess like then it comes down to what day works best for people for lives because I know like certain days it's just not gonna like it's harder for people to be in but um yeah so um I guess like is Sundays good for lives, Fridays, Wednesdays, Saturdays. I can pretty much work that around. Like I work for myself, so I can figure out what day is best for everybody else. But do you go live and talk all you want, Kyle? LOL. It's cool to have people actually discuss films rather than just show a weekly haul and then never mention anything about the movie again. Yeah, I do genuinely enjoy this part of the like of the channel far more than just basically talking about like this is the stuff I got um and um yeah so gosh my throat is so dry so um yeah I love interacting with you guys and just talking about movies and like what about film is fantastic um so maybe I'll do like a for now I'll do like a once a week live and then I don't know I'll get into um I don't know more off I guess once a week live and then I'll come up with a posting schedule of things but do what you can and we will catch you. Thank you. What do you do full time? So I am a wedding photographer and videographer. Um, and so it's kind of like a that is my actual job. So I do photos, videos for weddings. And yeah, how old are you? I just turned 27 actually. Um, I turned what was that a few weeks ago? Actually, about a month ago now, a little over a month ago. So I turned 27 a little over a month. But do you have any future? Um, do you have any future video ideas? I have a few in mind. Um, I have. I'm trying to think. I have like I'm actually going to be uploading one tonight. So after this, go check that out. Um, and I I don't know. I have a few different collection videos, different topic videos, and discussing like what like different things about collecting. And as I mentioned earlier, I want to do a kind of like a my collecting journey video. So I have several I don't know several ideas on written out. So anytime on the weekend, yes, I will probably for now I'm going to stick with like Sunday afternoons doing a live. I think that'll be a good time to do that. So Halloween recommendations. Yes. So actually, I've been debating if I want to make that into a full video or if I should do a live stream just talking about horror Halloween recommendations. Um, and I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. Um, I don't know. I'm gonna also let's see the next. Yeah, I am. um, I feel older than I am because I'm always telling myself I'm like oh I'm getting close to 30 but I'm like I'm only 27 so it's um let's see will you share your 31 nights of Halloween pics? Yes, so I guess that goes hand in hand with the Halloween recommendations both please. So I will probably do a video soon talking about my 31 nights of 31 Nights of Halloween, which is essentially, as I mentioned earlier in the live for the people that aren't here, that I'll be picking out 31 movies to watch during the month of October. And maybe I'll do a kind of like maybe a ranking video in there, maybe, I don't know. But I'll also be doing, I guess, for the 4 Sundays, I think it's 4 Sundays in October, I'll be doing lives as well. So maybe I'll be talking about each movie within those, and what I liked, what I didn't like, and just recommendations. So I'm also very open to other people's recommendations for horror movies. I have a decent amount of things that I have not seen. Um, and I don't know if you can tell behind me at all. But these ones that are like pulled out, I'm trying to find an example that you can kind of see. The movies that are like pulled out slightly, those are the ones I have not seen in my collection. And so I have actually a decent amount of movies that I own that I've never seen. And so I always try to do that with the 31 Nights of Halloween. I pretty much exclusively, there are a few exceptions, I exclusively pick out movies that I have not seen to watch. So a lot of them will be my first time viewing, and I'm very excited to get into that. So, um, but yeah, um, yeah. So I also have this is another kind of horror Halloween topic related. We are transitioning into fall, which is a lot of fun. But somebody mentioned in one of the comments about kind of talking about some like horror icons. Um, and so I'm just going to kind of run through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7. In my opinion, the 7 big ones. Um, would love a remaster of Nosferatu with. Yes. I have that on, I believe. Sorry, I'm gonna. Yes, this one. Um, this is one that I've actually not seen, um, but I need to see this. This is still brand new, which I need to get myself a better copy than VHS. But um, yeah, I really want to see this, and it looks very interesting. Um, but I love the story of Nosferatu. Nosferatu. I don't know how you say it exactly, but I'm going to dive into the 7 like horror icons in my opinion, like the 7 big ones, and I'm just going to kind of quickly rank those in my favorite to or my least favorite to favorite ones. Um, yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. And obviously this is all my opinion. I'm going to briefly um, briefly talk about um, each one, I guess, if people are interested in that. But um, I just know that somebody at one point mentioned in one of the comments on what was it? I think it was YouTube. I believe it was YouTube. And they mentioned that I should do a ranking of horror icons. So we'll get into that. I guess it's like over an hour. Um, but I appreciate you guys sticking with me this whole time. And um, yeah, I should also mention my last YouTube video. I felt like actually kind of bad because I kind of totally forgot about it. Um, and I filmed it, and then I filmed my Criterion video, and then I edited the Criterion and posted that, and then I kind of forgot that I even made like that haul video, and so I basically just um nose through to yeah. um, I completely kind of forgot I even made that video, and so it was just kind of like sitting on my computer, and yeah, I feel bad because it was like it sat there for so long, and then but whatever. I'm just gonna keep releasing videos, and hopefully I'll be able to release them more often. But um, so I guess I'll dive into this. If people are interested in hearing my thoughts on different horror icons. If not, I can save it for my Halloween recommendation video. Um, totally okay. Um, and yeah, actually, I might save it for the Halloween video. Um, Mainly just because I've been talking for the last 80 minutes. Um, but oh wow. Um, yeah, let's see. I think I'm going to wrap this up here, mainly because it's just been almost an hour and a half of talking. Um, but I will, like I said, I will be releasing a video later tonight. Honestly, it should be onto YouTube by now, so all I need to do is just hit next, and it should be up there. So, if you are curious what that video is, go check it out. It should be up there shortly. I always appreciate everybody watching these videos, and just I appreciate everyone subscribing and all interacting within the comments. I love reading them. It really is one of my favorite things is when I check my phone and I have I don't know, I have people like commenting on things. It's really fun. But I will be back live next Sunday, I believe. I guess I'll try to keep that. Um, and yeah, thank you guys again for all the support, all of the commenting tonight. I enjoyed interacting with all you guys. Um, and yeah, I will see you guys all in the future in the next video. And I will see you, or I don't know how to end these things, so I'm just gonna, it's like ending a Zoom call. It's weird. Um, but okay. Bye guys. Thank you so much for watching.